Hello, fellow Trollops. Can you forgive me? I have to talk about the first 20 chapters of Can You Forgive Me, or else I won't be able to go and watch all the Can You Forgive Me videos that were done way, way back last year when Steve Donoghue held a readathon for this. This is, we're in March, and Steve Donoghue is leading the faithful hordes on Pride and Prejudice, I believe it is, and I've decided to circle back and read Can You Forgive Her? His 1865, I believe, novels, serialized between 1864 and 65 novel. And I need to talk about it. I don't know why. In some ways, I'm talking about it because it's very much it feels very much like an earlier book than his other books. There's yet again, there's Alice Vavasor and her, Vavasor, man. And, it's like, will she fall in love with George Vavasor, her cousin? I don't know what it was, Victorians about and their cousins, who's, with a wild man, the bad boy, who's got his good points. Or is it going to be John Grey, the worthy man, the someone who seems like, maybe the reason why she shouldn't be with him is just that he's too perfect. And in some ways, they do a good job of portraying his overwhelming perfection. On the other side of the other narrative thread we have going through here, it's Miss Greennow and her comedic suitors, Mr. Cheeseacre and what the hell is his name? The Major, is he Major Bellington? God, I can't even find his name. Bell, God, something like that. The kind of the comedic subplot of Miss Greennow and her suitors, which is definitely played for laughs. Miss Greennow, a widow who seems to, she married young, wisely, to a rich old guy, and he's died, and now she's like proclaiming her bitter despair, while at the same time using another cousin, Kate, to quickly get back into the swing of things and to kind of manipulate some dudes into having some fun, having some lovers, some Victorian hot lovers, which is we've had a picnic, and of course there's been a fox hunt, because Trollope does love his fox hunts, and another horse gets killed. Whatever. It's interesting that these two plot lines seem to comment on each other. It's just that it seems like in this early Trollope seems a little bit stiffer with his the main lovers, with Alice and George and John. It seems a little bit more stiff to me, a little bit more stilted in the dialogue. I'm not finding them as compelling characters as, say, like Lizzie and Lucy and Frank from the Eustace Diamonds. These three, this love triangle here, John Grey, George Vavasor, and Alice Vavasor, all seem a little bit more stilted, a little bit more Victorian, in a way that it feels a bit stiff to me. It feels like this is him starting off and kind of limbering himself up as an author. I don't know if that's how everyone else feels. I'll have to find out. We are finally at the very end of this getting to the whole point of this book, which is to introduce Lady Glenclora, who will go on to, I think, has she actually married him, or is she just about to marry Palliser, the kind of the stodgy prime minister? Is he a prime minister in waiting? I can't remember if he's a prime minister in waiting. He's a big wig in the government, but Lady Glenclora is another she's a wealthy woman. She's one of Alice's rich relatives, which I actually quite appreciate at the beginning. Alice is like, I don't want anything to do with my rich relatives. I'm just, why would I want to be a toady with them? Be someone who's like kind of a hanger-on. That doesn't seem like to me a good thing. But we do actually get to Lady Glenclora, and Lady Glenclora has been a delight, and I'm sure will be. I was sort of waiting at the beginning of this book. Is like, okay, when are we going to get to Lady Glenclora? And in the thick chunker fashion, it does take a little while before we some Lady Glenclora going here, which is always good. She actually does come across as a bit more light, a little bit more fluid. It's like suddenly Trollope kind of loosens up here, where Alice and even George, who's supposed to be the wildman, still seems kind of a bit stiff in his talkings with her, and declaring their love. It feels a little bit stiffer, even for kind of what I take for other Trollope novels where he's Victorian. I mean, and there's the whole thing in this book of, again, this is the cusp of a revolution for women. We're getting a thing of, like, you know, what should a purpose of a woman's life be, and the frustrations with it in a society where at this point, yes, the frustrations are, you know, if you're going to be a woman should marry wisely to a husband and support that husband. And you can see Alice struggling with that. It's like, that's not really good enough, but struggling within a very conservative society, and even a conservative novel, because, I mean, Trollope does kind of structure his novels in a very kind of the conservative kind of romantic comedy thing of, you've got one person who's got to pick between the two suitors, and that is indeed played for comedic laughs with Miss Greenough and her suitors, the farmer and the kind of the trumped up war dude who probably didn't fight, you know, is kind of played for laughs, which really actually then does undercut the more serious, you know, it's like we have a parody right beside the actual thing that we're supposed to take seriously, which I don't know if I do at this point. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Can You Forgive Her by Anthony Trollope. Just very happy to, you know, start to backfill in my Trollope, the Trollope universe, and get that. So that's what I'm going to be mostly listening to this month, while I continue on with my mammoth hard copy read, which is Christian Lavensdatter, who I'll be coming with a little update on that if I haven't already posted it, whichever order I plop these things in. Coming up later. All right, more videos later. Can you forgive me? Probably not.